I really like Capcom games. In terms of the pedigree of games they've released, many of them I consider to be some of my all-time favorites. Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, you name it. And even in the modern day, they keep releasing hit after hit. And since the Game Awards last year, we got some pretty big announcements from Capcom. A single-screen teaser for a new Okami game, nothing, unfortunately, for Viewtiful Joe, sorry Viewtiful Joe fans, and then a full-on gameplay trailer for a game called Onimusha, a name I haven't heard in a really long time. So, Onimusha, is a game best described as old-school Resident Evil, but you're a samurai. Instead of having a number of modern firearms to help dispatch zombies, you're instead armed with a bunch of ancient Japanese weapons to help you take care of demons. The PS2 era for Capcom was full of weird experimental stuff, most of it stemming from the Resident Evil series. And that particular talking point is a discussion for another day, but Onimusha finds itself to be another weird splinter of Resident Evil. So if you'll allow me a moment of your time, we're gonna talk about everything. The weapons, the enemies, the lore, the story, everything Onimusha. Hope you enjoy.
Men! Fight and die with honor!
save Princess Yuki.
Dear Samanosuke,
No.
This way, sir. If our princess is at the keep, there are two ways to get there. The western path, or the northern passage.
Kaede, I'll go north. You follow them through the other way.
understand.
So, here we are. Just outside of Inabayama Castle, our mission is to save Princess Yuki with nothing more than the sword that we wield and the armor on our backs. And with that, we take the north path. Oh hey, that was easy.
Princess Yuki! Princess Yuki, Your Highness.
Samanosuke, it's really you. Oh, I knew that you would come to save me. I have missed you so much since you left the castle.
What?
Mega chunk. Flee while you can, you worthless bug. He coming for humans!
Princess.
Samanosuke. Samanosuke. Wake up, Samanosuke. With your current power, you are not capable of destroying the demons. We will give you our powers. We are the clan of ogres that has been subverted by the demons. Samanosuke, defeat and seal their souls to your right hand.
What?
Destroy all the demons.
So, fortune has smiled upon me this day. With the power of this gauntlet, I will destroy all of those monsters and save the princess!
The Oni Gauntlet is really cool. If I were to pinpoint a main mechanic for Onimusha, it would probably be the Gauntlet. The change only looks cosmetic as of right now, but don't worry, there'll be time for whenever it shines. Here's our first save point. Nice. And I just need to express how cool the pre-rendered backgrounds are in a 3D game. I think this is the last 3D rendered background game that Capcom has ever made. And you might say, well, it looks ugly and dated, and I would tell you, well, shut up. I'm playing Onimusha. Okay, pause right here. These enemies right here are called zombie warriors, and while they're not too notable to a typical, regular human being, they're important to me. Specifically, the noise they make whenever they greet you. Just listen to it again. Something about the noise these guys make just sort of echoes something fierce in me. When they're caught aware of you, it almost feels like a challenge. It's like a question to me. It's like, are you ready to fight? And your reply is always just, readying your sword. It's like this growl was made to just grab your attention, and it works perfectly for that.
Hurry! Monsters! Close the door, now!
Someone is there!
Get him!
So let's go ahead and talk about combat some. Like most games I grew up with, the combat is easy to grasp but hard to master. Any and all melee weapons have a 3-hit combo string, and you also have the option to lock onto enemies. Doing so will replace your left and right tank control movement with instead a sidestep. Pressing forward an attack will also allow you to stab with any weapon that you have, and back an attack will allow you to do a kick. Pay attention to this one, it'll be on the test later.
Open the door! I've killed all the monsters!
He killed?
Huh?
What should we do?
You! Ah! Sorry.
We are very sorry. Please forgive us.
What happened to you?
They came out of nowhere and attacked us.
The keep may have also been attacked by them.
The keep is ahead of us that way?
Right. The forest road there is a shortcut to the keep.
I see.
Okay, so if I don't start talking about the Oni Gauntlet now, somebody's gonna be mad. So let me just show you this. This right here, this little innocuous action, this is everything that Onimusha stands for. During any point in the game, you can press the circle button to suck. Doing so will allow you to collect souls from the demons you kill. There are 3 soul colors in the game and they all do different things: red for experience, yellow for healing, and blue for magic. What's important to note about all the souls though is that they despawn rather quickly. And more importantly, they take time to travel towards you. At the end of the battle you get to reap your rewards and there's no problems there. But in the middle of combat you have to weigh your options. Can you collect that health soul before that enemy attacks you? That sort of thing. It's cool, you got innate risk reward and resource management, almost like I'm playing Resident Evil. Look at these pots. Look at this background. Now look at this little chest. Everything that's interactable in the game sort of stands out. It reminds me of whenever old cartoons had sort of pieces of the set that needed to be animated, so they looked visually different from the rest of the scenery. And I don't know, I just think that's cool. Obviously, modern advancements in technology whenever it comes to monitors and other ways to play video games visually make these items stand out a lot more. And I really don't know how else to describe it other than quaint, I guess? Like, I don't know, it's kind of funny and definitely seems like a product of the time. Allow me to introduce you to your new favorite fictional katana in video games. No, not you. You'll get your chance someday, though. Not you either, god, give me a break. The Raizan is your first magical-based weapon in Onimusha. It shares exactly the same moveset as the normal sword, which means it's a safe and dependable option that you should already be pretty familiar with. If I were to pinpoint an equivalent weapon in the Resident Evil series, I think possibly the pistols sort of fit the bill best here. The Raizan works in basically any situation. It might not ever be the best possible pick, but it's not the worst either. Even at its base level, it does more damage than the starting sword, so that's cool. But there's something else pretty neat about it too. Yeah, I guess talking about magic would be a good idea about now, huh? After first obtaining the Raizan, we get this new meter underneath our health bar. This is obviously the magic meter, and any magical attack you're capable of doing is sort of fixed to the weapon you get. Different magical attacks will cost different amounts of magic out of your meter, and whenever you collect a magic orb from enemies, it'll end up filling all of your meters for all of your weapons. This is a pretty understated resource management angle out of Onimusha. Magic attacks always do a ton of damage, and depending on the attack itself, it'll have different applications. When any magical attack actually connects, it ends up giving you complete invulnerability. And specifically in the case of the Raizan, upgrading it all the way will end up basically one-shotting every enemy in the game so long as it's not a boss, at least in normal mode. For something a little bit more divisive, we need to talk about trick treasure boxes. Yeah, it's a sliding block puzzle, and they're littered all across the game very sparingly. And you can only turn them in clockwise sets of 4. This first one isn't too egregious, thankfully, but unfortunately, there's a lot of necessary key items that you need to collect from these trick treasure boxes, and it's just, I don't know, kind of a bad design decision in my opinion. We use our freshly obtained rope ladder and climb down this hole. Oh yeah, I forgot about the decoder boxes as well. To break this down really fast, what you need to do is basically use these little cipher books to figure out what word you're trying to spell. You're given a prompt to sort of figure out what you're supposed to say in the answer box, you assemble an answer, you hit OK, and then you get an item out of it. Unlike the trick treasure boxes, these are actually all optional. Most of the times they contain either upgrades to your health or your magic meters, so they're useful, but, you know, they're not really fun to solve either. I don't necessarily blame you if you want to look up the answers or anything. This game is plenty well recorded on the puzzle front of things. But alternatively, if you want to collect them in their intended routes, then pick up the cipher books and do all of your puzzle solving and stuff that way. For me though, I have the attention span of a goldfish, so I'm just going to look up all the answers and get a move on. And speaking of getting a move on, here comes a skill check.
Huh?
Didn't know humans could be such pests?
Where is the princess?
Humans are more tasty when angry, and I haven't eaten in a while.
Hefty chunk.
This is Osric, and he, like many of Capcom's early 2000 first bosses, acts as sort of a pop quiz for your understanding of the controls. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, this is an absolutely brutal fight if you don't know what you're doing still. He's a giant dude with a big ass kanabo and he hits like a truck. He's got a couple of unblockable attacks, and he can even enrage himself to sort of run into you with his horns. Or teeth, whatever those are. Pro tip sort of thing, I guess, you can actually get him to run into the back wall here, only this wall, no other wall, and he'll get stuck there for a couple of attacks. After he gets done raging, he'll tucker himself out, and this will leave him open for a couple more attacks. His health bar isn't all that big, but you wouldn't know that if this is your first time fighting him. Especially in the modern day with tank controls being mostly phased out, this fight really is brutal. I don't really have anything else to add, so I'll also just mention, every boss in Onimusha, if you attack them a good amount of times, they'll end up dropping orbs of any color. This means they can also drop magic and health orbs, which obviously gives you a little bit of a boost mid-fight. Let's wrap this up here though. Also, first try, yeah.
How could I die? By the hand of a human! Oh, Lord, he
Quiet, monster. It is time for you to go back to the underworld.
Oh yeah, I forgot about these. We'll talk about fluoride whenever I feel like it. Instead, allow me to introduce you to the man, the myth, the legend, the absolute monster, Guildenstern.
Sweet, beautiful, lovely, the dripping blood, and what's this? Oh, a liver. What's that smell? Who's there? A human? How disappointing.
Face me, demon!
Who do you think you are talking to? I haven't seen one as foolish as you since that, Nobunaga.
Nobunaga?
I operated on and resurrected that pitiful Nobunaga after he was killed in Okihazuma. He then made a pact with the demons and pledged his eternal loyalty to serve us forever as our slave.
No!
Oh, yes, it is indeed true. Now, let me show you my most recent creation. Go, Renato! Bite the belly of that maggot and feast upon his bloody flesh!
I don't think I've ever seen a more cartoony villain in my entire life. I know it's one of those early Capcom-isms, right? Just bad voice acting problems, bad English dubbing, I know, whatever. And I know some people don't like it at all, but just, to me, I think it just adds some much-needed levity to this story. In my opinion, it's better than a super evil villain that just knows what he's doing and is constantly threatening, you know? Oh yeah, also, Ronaldos suck, I hate these enemies. They constantly split apart whenever you attack them, making more of them. They have an annoying grab attack. 2 of them, actually. And their tentacles can hit you from a ridiculously long range. I don't like them. They make me feel icky. I guess we're just gonna make this a thing now. A very special thank you to Stefan over on patreon.com. Members like our wonderful friend here can see early access to videos, get their name read out loud at the end of these videos, and even a new tier where you can see these videos early as soon as I get them finished. If any of that interests you, then joining up is really cheap, starts at $1 a month. As always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next Friday. Have a good one, everybody.